Chapter 14, Welded Joints. 14.1, Welder Visual Acuity. Welders are not subject to the requirement of Appendix T unless they are certified to perform non-destructive examination in accordance with Appendix T. 4.2, Visual Activity Actuality Requirements. Welders must have the documented visual acuity with the examination administered prior to the production weld at the minimum over once every 3 years. Welders should be examined to ensure that they are naturally corrected in iridescent visual acuity in at least one eye, such as each of the individual capable of reading a Jagger. Number 2, the test chart of the equivalent distance of not less than 12 inches. Welders examined in accordance with the vision requirement of AWSQC 1 and CSA 7178-2 or Appendix C to meet Appendix W visual acuity requirements for welders. 14.3, cleaning during welding. The welds and the metals deposited over the previous welded surface. All visible slag shall be removed to prevent inclusion of the impurity of the welded metal. Alignment and tolerance sections have been groove welded shall be such of the maximum offset no greater than the applicable amount listed in Table W. 13 joints of the tank heads and of the dome heads shall meet requirements of Table 14.13 longitudinal joints. Table 14 or 13 alignment tolerization section thickness direction of joints cylindrical shells longitudinal circumferential. Welding reinforcement butt joint groove weld. Surface of any of the weld shall be at least flush with the adjacent adjoining plate. Surface of any of the built-up reinforcement should not exceed 3/32 of an inch from the plate and 5/8 of an inch and thinner normal and 1/8 of an inch for the thicker plates. Welded reinforcement should have the gradual transition maximal level to crown and plane of the base metal. Surface of reinforcement needs to be not removed. So to the extent of the exceeding the level build-up above does not conform with the requirements of paragraph 10.2.1 and 14.10 of this appendix. For the single weld butt joints in the back strip, the requirements of the reinforcement apply only to the side opposite of the back stripping. When dissimilar thicknesses are joined along with the weld reinforcement should be based on the thickness of the thinner member of the welded reinforcement should be determined by higher of the butting surfaces involved. Fillet welds, concavity and convexity shall fall within the ranges shown in Figure 4.14, Table 4W14. Welded size fillet welds should not be the specified size of no more than 1/32 of an inch, except for the fillet welds 3/16 of an inch, maybe 1/16 of an inch underside of about 10% of the length of the weld. Weld metal should be deposited in such a way that the adequate penetration of the base metal at the root of the weld is secure. The toe of the fillet weld should blend smoothly into the base metal. Should the fillet weld size, maximum concavity and convexity. Interrupted welding stop with any reason should be taken in restarting to ensure full penetration of the bottom of the joint thorough fusion between the welded metal and base metal material to the weld metal previously deposited. All craters shall be filled. Identification of the welds. Each welding operator shall stamp his or her identifying number letter with a similar sign of the manufacturer adjacent to the weld made with the furious plate 1/4 inch over the thickness of the non-furious plates, 1/2 inch over the thickness for identifying weld with the furious plate with 1/4 inch thick and the non-furious plates with less than a 1/2 inch thick. Suitable stencil for the other surfacing marking shall be used. Acceptable alternative, the all plate thickness of metal furious, non-furious is for the fabricator to keep the record. Welding operators employed at each of the joint. The record shall be available to repair defects. The defects welded joint should be repaired to remove the defect of rewelding. The defect may be to remove the mechanical means air, carbon arc, and plasma arc gouging. Surface quality weld. Alright, surface of the weld should be free of cracks, overlapping, incomplete fusion, slag. Weld surface should be free of the porosity. The undercut of the tank and the shell of the tank sheet heads should not be exceeding 10,000 of an inch. Shell does not reduce the thickness below the minimum required value of the tank car groove. The weld is filled with a specified cross-section area. And then 14.10.2, welded joints should have silver underframe. Other components attached to the tank car tank should be constructed in such a manner to limit the undercut porosity of the values permitted AWS 15.1. Current edition, all of the welds classified in Class 1 unless otherwise specified by the tank manufacturer, car owner. Undercut of the tank car tank shall be limited per paragraph 14.10.1 for the appendix. Unless otherwise specified, undercut the attachment side of the component side of fillet welds limited to 1/32 of an inch, 12 and 1/2% of the material thickness, whichever is less. Weld spatters is not permitted in the areas that would interfere with the function of the corrosion protection of the tanker or tank interior coating or linings. Weld spatter will resist normal cleaning methods. Deslagging or blasting, etc. may be permitted. 14.11. Flux. Handling equipment should be the design location support with a minimized aim with a tendency towards separation, segregation, flux, particle density. All containers reservoir flux should be designed that they will empty into the normal use of the residual remaining. Normal vacuum pickup recycling. Unfused flux shall be screened. All particles previously used flux slags for the screen side with exceeding 10% 1 inch 10 per 1 inch. Recycling used flux separating operation should remove harmful dust and foreign materials. Where fused flux slag is crushed, recovered, net recovered and included in crushed material shall be blended with no less than 25% weight of new flux. No reprocessed flux should contain more than 10% of the weight of any other material screen size greater than 200 mesh or 79 per 10 millimeter. Recrushed slag residues from alloy type of flux should not be used. Flux from damaged package for discarding dried at a minimum temperature of 500 degrees for 1 hour before use. Flux that have been wet shall not be used. Alright, 1412, low hydrogen electrodes. Welding procedure involves a low hydrogen electrode that must handle and according to the following requirement. The low hydrogen electrode should be purchased from the hermetically sealed container. After the opening hermetically sealed container, move with the baking over the electrode and should be used and stored other than hold at a temperature of at least 250 degrees. Baking electrode temperature of time shown in the table W4415 on the seal of the hermetically sealed container is damaged or liable to exposure to the time in the atmosphere. Period. Table of 41215. Exceed the electrodes must not be baked more than once. Discard electrodes that have been wet. So the low hydrogen electrodes, you have your E70, E70, 18, E80, 90, 10, 10, and 110. Chapter 15, welding data. And we'll read that. Okay.